Hey everybody, how's it going? I know that there's going to be a ton of videos about this. Everyone's probably already seen this a million times. But I wanted to kind of go into more than just the plan changes for the economy and the RP and everything like that because I mean, don't get me wrong, like everything that Gaijin is saying in this article here, the roadmap, changes to the Silver Lion economy, like the income insurance and stuff like that's super super cool. And then also there was a spot where they are changing it to where if your vehicle dies really fast, you don't pay the full repair cost and everything. Like that's super super cool. um the overall reduction in repair costs for a lot of vehicles, that's fantastic. Reduced repair costs are very very great. Increased earnings are very very great. Here's the dynamic reduction of repair costs. And I love that, and I really 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 enjoy new in-game nations. So reaching top vehicles for a tree gives you a reduction in research costs for all the other nations up to that rank, which is super super great too. It's going to make the grind a lot easier. All of this stuff is making the grind a lot easier, and I am in love with this. And I also want to point out that you know Gaijin in the past has they've I hesitate to throw the word greedy out there because they are a company, they do have to make money, and I don't think they were necessarily being greedy per se. Like, I want to play devil's advocate here because there's not a lot of people who play War Thunder as opposed to something like World of Tanks or World of Warships, the other big name World War II vehicle combat games like that are free to play, but they have monetization built into them to kind of help that company earn money. Like World of Tanks has probably 10 to 15 times as many people play it on average as compared to War Thunder, and there's a lot more community built around it. It's been around for, in the terms of tanks, a lot longer. So it's kind of got that edge up, and it's a different style of game. Most of that is completely irrelevant, though. The point that I'm trying to make is, if you compare Gaijin as a company who produces a World War II tank game, that's dumbing it down a lot, but just bear with me. Compare it to Wargaming, who produces a World War II tank game. Wargaming does much much better, and there's a few reasons for that, and we're not gonna get too much into those particular reasons, but when Gaijin sees that, they're thinking, okay, well, we have our game, they have their game, there's these differences, this is why ours is appealing as opposed to theirs, we think we have a better game because of X, Y, and Z reason, and our community agrees with us, that's why they play our game. But Wargaming makes so much more money, and Wargaming has so many more people who play it, and that can be kind of frustrating because obviously you want to do just as well as your competitors, kind of thing. Like if you look at Call of Duty and Battlefield, for example, the two games are very similar. Obviously, they're first-person shooters. They've got multiplayer stuff. They've got storyline stuff. Call of Duty has its zombies thing. Battlefield has a player base with an average age above 6. So there's a few discrepancies there, but both franchises do relatively well comparatively to one another. The numbers aren't egregious, but for something like War Thunder and World of Tanks, the numbers are. And obviously, yes, they're two different games, and that kind of plays a factor into it, but the point that I'm getting at is when Gaijin looks at it, they get frustrated. And I'm not defending Gaijin, I'm just, like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate, I'm giving an explanation. And so, what I feel like Gaijin has done in the past, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, is that Gaijin has prioritized short-term gain over long-term growth. And here's what I mean with that. So, and I know it sounds very, very basic on the surface, but they've taken it and they've said, okay, well, we're not making as much money. Let's implement as many things as we possibly can for people to buy and spend money on and try and force people to spend as much money as possible without driving the player base away. So that way we can, come away with more money at the end of the day. And there's a few things wrong with that overall mindset, but there's nothing wrong with them as a company wanting to make money. That's why the company exists. They have people that they have to pay, families that they have to feed. There's nothing wrong with them wanting to make money. The problem is when they prioritize that short-term gain over long-term growth, they eventually shunt themselves. And we saw them come dangerously close to that recently with the Steam reviews and everything like that. Like, I know that there were a lot of people who still played the game and just decided to stop buying things. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. You've got your protest. You as a player have rights. Obviously, we as players have rights. I'm saying you like I don't play the game. But when Gaijin does that, it's not necessarily them being greedy. It's just them being short-sighted. It's them kind of panicking a little bit because, they might be struggling financially at the corporate office. They might not be. I don't know how much money Gaijin brings in. I haven't looked it up. I'm not going to look it up because it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant for the topic at hand, I feel like, because we're not talking about, oh, Gaijin doesn't make enough money, so that's why they do these things. It's Gaijin feels threatened, so they're panicking and doing these things. And the actual dollar values, I feel like, don't matter as much as why they've done the things that they've done. And so, and again, I am absolutely not defending their actions. I'm just providing an explanation so we can all kind of look at everything going forward with a bit more of a level head. Us and Gaijin. Gaijin especially. I mean, they do seem to be kind of tone deaf too. Like, we've been screaming about this stuff for a very, very long time, and it's only just now happened because we literally pushed them to the breaking point. And go us for doing that. We kind of needed to push them to the breaking point. It was something that I think needed to be done in order for them to kind of wake up and realize what was actually happening with their community, with their game, and everything like that. And hopefully going forward, guys, and I'm talking to you now, you will understand that we love your game. We do. We want to play your game. We want to be able to spend money on your game. What we don't want is to feel like we have to spend money on your game. And that's a kind of a difficult line to toe because, you want to incentivize us to spend the money, but we don't want to be forced to spend the money. And it's, you kind of have to strike that very, very delicate balance between, okay, monetizing and spending money on the game is worth it, and it provides a noticeable boost to whatever it is I'm doing in the game, either progressing up tech trees or, whatever, but you don't want to make it a necessity. Like, people will spend money for convenience. We don't mind spending money for convenience. People will pay an extra $1 or whatever for pizza to be delivered to their house as opposed to have to go get it themselves. That kind of thing. They'll tip the pizza delivery guy $5, $10, whatever. I don't know who's tipping a pizza delivery guy $10. Maybe some of you are. Maybe you just are a generous person like that. If so, good for you. I'm getting off topic. We don't mind paying for convenience, but we don't want to feel like we have to pay to be able to play the free-to-play game. Like, I have premium time right now. I bought the premium time like half a year when it was on sale back in December or something like that. And I have a few premium vehicles. One of them I managed to grind out. I managed to get the VFW during that event. Didn't pay any money for it. I bought a premium pack for the shielded Russian vehicle pack that you guys had a while back. The KV-1E, the T-34, and the T-26E. And I got the A10, the premium A10, because it was a freaking A10. I wasn't going to not spend money on that. Long live the Burt. But those are things that I wanted to spend my money on because I was like, okay, like the premium pack with the KV-1E and stuff, that was a good deal. It got 3 vehicles. It wasn't super expensive. I also got some Golden Eagles and a little bit of premium time and those kinds of things. Good value. That makes people want to spend money. Novelty, the A10. Like, the A10 Premium is not as good as the A10 that's in the tech tree. But I wasn't anywhere close to an A10 being able to grind it out. And even if I had been, like, I liked the title. The title of the Burr, that's a freaking hilarious title. Love it. And it also had a little bit of gold and a little bit of premium time. That's, there's a little bit of value built into it, but there's also just the novelty of, yeah, I have an A10 now, and that's super fun. And the A10 is not a broken vehicle at top tier. Like, if you let it go and you don't shoot it down, it will absolutely wreck ground forces in an ARB match. That's the entire point of the A10. The problem is, if you decide you want to kill the A10, there's not a lot the A10 can do about it if you're in an actual fighter jet, because you're faster than it, you're more maneuverable than it, you can kind of dodge its missiles for the most part as long as you have half a brain, you pop flares, and then you execute a hard turn. Not that difficult. The AIM-9Es can be spoofed. They're not the end-all be-all. I have people dodge my missiles all the time. Sometimes my missiles just flat out don't hit the target because they've executed a hard turn, didn't even pop flares, the missiles just couldn't keep up. It happens. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how missiles work in real life. You can turn to beat them. You can pop flares to beat them. Those kinds of things. And the A10, while a very, very powerful ground striker, cannot outrun anything at its BR. Same thing with the SU-25. It's a very powerful ground striker. I think it's a little broken. It probably survives more than it should. But again, it can't outrun anything at its BR. If you want to get guns on target, you will be able to get guns on target all day long. Just, when you go to overshoot, make sure you overshoot and then you pull away. You don't try and turn it. I'm rambling again. The point that I'm trying to make is when you're putting things like this into the game for people to buy, you want to make it to where they want to buy the thing, not they feel like they have to buy the thing. But before you did all these economy changes, and thank you so much, Gaijin, for listening to us finally and implementing these economy changes. I mean, I've seen 5-6 videos from various different content creators. All of them are singing your praises right now because you've listened to us. It's not because you've made the economy better. I mean, that's part of it, yes. We like that you've made the economy better. But what we like more than that is that you finally listened to us. We're kind of ticked off that it took what it took. We didn't want to have to review bomb you on Steam. I say review bomb. It wasn't review bombing. It was people finally saying, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to leave a review about how I feel. These are people who have played the game. They're not review bombing you. They're just expressing their frustrations. It's not a review bomb, so let's get that straight. We didn't want to have to do that, though, because for years we've been saying in the forums and on the Gaijin Wiki and all of this stuff, saying, hey, Gaijin, please, these are the things that we see that are wrong with the game. Can you please do something about it to fix it? And I know you said in this article, close to the top, I don't want to spend too much time trying to find it, but where is it? First and foremost, eager to receive concrete information. Here, look, over the past several years, we've been working behind the scenes to improve economic models for the game. We've been experimenting, blah, blah, blah. Planned on doing it over time, but now planning to just kind of shove it in there because of everything that's been happening. And, you say that, I'm going to choose to believe you. There is that, small voice in the back of my head saying, yeah, don't believe them. There's no way that they've been working on it over the past several years. They've probably just panicked, which, based on how well thought out this is, you probably have been working on it, at the very least, over the last year or two. So I will give you that. The fact that it had to come to this before you finally even told us anything about it is also a little frustrating because, we've been saying, hey, can you please fix this? 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 And, we're not getting anything back from you guys. That's also frustrating. Like, if you say no, we're not going to fix this, then we can be pissed off and we can do the Steam negative review thing like we did. Or you can say, hey, we hear you, we're kind of thinking about some things. We're looking at a whole bunch of different ideas. Please be patient with us. Give us some time. In the meantime, maybe you can just say, we're going to nerf all repair costs across the board by 10%. Just to kind of tide you guys over. Something like that. If you have been working on this over the past few years, if you had done something like that a year ago, year and a half ago, we might not have wound up where we are today, and you would have been able to just release everything as you had planned. Communication is very important for a video game developer, especially for a video game developer of a free-to-play game that has a smaller, tight-knit community like this. And I've got my eyes closed and I'm being very serious. I know you can't see it because I don't have my camera on, but you have to let us know what your plan is, Gaijin. I know that you're the game company and it's your game, but we're the ones who fund that game. Without us, you have no game anymore. I mean, you still have a game, but it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. You can't develop it any further. You can't work on it anymore. You can't get any more income from it because no one is playing it. Because you're not treating us, we feel, you're not treating us with the level of respect and mutual partnership that comes from a video game developer and their audience. And again, I said it before, but I'll reiterate, especially when it's a smaller audience, like something like War Thunder. The peak players for War Thunder is usually never above 60 to 70,000. And that's on a really good day. You know, it's patch day right now, there's like 130,000 people on right now, but you don't usually see more than 50 to 60,000 people online at any given time because the community is small, and there's nothing wrong with having a small community. A small community is a very, very good thing, actually, because it kind of helps you sort through, okay, what does the community actually want? Because more people are going to be saying the same things. When, you know, you've got this massive community, you've got 300,000 people saying this, 300,000 people saying this, 300,000 people saying this other thing, and it's like, okay, you know, which 300,000 do I cater to? When you've got a small community of 50 to 60,000 people, you can cater to pretty much all of them at the same time because the vast majority of us want the same thing. Because we all like the game for the same reasons. We're not just playing it because, oh, it's a really popular game, like Fortnite, for example. This is what I want you to continue to do, Gaijin, because you've really, really set the precedent right here. This is my favorite part of this article. This button right here. When I saw that button, like, I was reading everything, I'm like, okay, you know, this sounds really, really good. I really like everything that you guys are saying right here. You know, that sounds like a good idea. I like the whole repair cost changes. I like you nerfing the repair costs and buffing the income and, you know, guaranteeing that more often than not, you're going to be able to make a profit regardless of which BR you're playing at. Love it. It's great. That all made me happy. This gave me hope because this button right here told me that at the very least, you are willing to start hearing us out. You're willing to start listening to us. And with that button, if you can continue that mindset, continue the mindset, okay, we're going to listen to the player base. And I know that there's still a lot of us. I mean, 60,000 people is not a small number. We'll get into that here in a second. But the fact that you have decided we're going to leave this up to a vote for the player base on whether or not we're going to implement this in La Royale or we're going to just kind of hold off and maybe fine-tune it a little bit more. When we read all of that information and we say, yes, I like this, put it in now, or no, I don't like this, and here's why. Because when you click the little vote button, it takes you to a screen and you can put in comments and feedback, and that's also really great. And it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to sift through all of that. I understand that. But the vote button's existence is phenomenal. Now, on the subject of there being 60,000 of us, and it's kind of hard to sort through all the voices, I'm going to bring it back to World of Tanks again. And I know you guys have tried it in the past, and it didn't really work out because you didn't actually listen. Well, this vote button tells me that now you're maybe ready to start listening. So here's what I want you to do, Gaijin. If anybody with any sort of pull at your company is watching this video, and I have no idea if this video is even going to get seen by more than 30 people, but if, by some miracle, on the off chance, somebody at Gaijin HQ who is able to make decisions about this topic is watching this video, and you get nothing else from anything that I have said, I want you to take away this. community contributor program. And I'm not talking about the community contributor program that you have right now where, you know, the people who have a lot of followers and stuff, and you give them some gold to help the grind and help them promote the game, and that's great. Don't get me wrong, I love that. I'm not even a part of it because I don't have enough people who subscribe to my YouTube channel or my Twitch. So, like and subscribe. I'm not a part of that, and I don't care. I love this game. I love military vehicles, military history. It's super, super interesting to me. Like, I love driving around in a tank and blowing up other tanks. It's fun. It's therapeutic. I don't care about not being a part of that community contributor program. I don't even want to be a part of the community contributor program that I'm about to start talking about. I just want you to understand what I'm saying, that I'm not talking about you giving gold to guys like Spookston and Oddboz and Fly and European Canadian and Justin Plays and whoever else. Not talking about that. I am talking about the existence of those types of people who have a lot of followers and a lot of views on their YouTube channels. Those people are in direct contact with your community. I'm going to say that again. That small group of 10 to 15 community contributors is in direct contact with 80%, probably more, of the people who play your game on a regular basis. They have them in their Discords. They have them in their YouTube comment sections, in their Twitch comment sections. They are talking to us face to face. Not literally face to face, but face to face. They know, by and large, what we want. And they also play your game, which means, by and large, they want the same things that we do. Because, yes, they get their gold from you and stuff like that, but they also see what things are broken and unbalanced and whatever else with the game. The grind economy, not quite as much, because they have that gold income from you guys, but especially gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. Because they're in direct contact with us, you could get in direct contact with them, set up a panel, fly them out to your headquarters every now and then, you know, every once a year, or, you know, every quarter, not every quarter, that's way too often, every 6 months, maybe, if they're down for that. Or just set up a Zoom call with, you know, them and a couple of the game higher ups. You know, you can talk to these 10 to 15 individuals and get a very good idea of where you need to bring this game in order to improve it. And I know a lot of the things that we say you're scared to do because, oh, well, queue times, and oh, well, we don't have enough people who play the game, and oh, well, variety, and oh, well, this. I hear that. I honestly, really, truly do. I do. I understand it 100%. You do not want to increase the BR spread and make queue times worse. I don't want queue times to be worse either, and I understand that doing that will, in the immediate, make queue times worse. But in the long term, the queue times will get even better, because me as an individual, and I'm sure there are other people who feel this way as well, I really, really love this game, but I'm hesitant to recommend it to anybody because I've been playing the game for a while. I'm invested in the game. I've got time spent in this game, so I don't want to just drop it cold turkey. I almost did after you were completely and totally tone deaf a few weeks ago about the whole Steam review thing, but you bounced back, you fixed it. I don't know if someone got fired or what, but we're here now. The past is the past. I'm willing to clean slate this whole thing. But I don't want to recommend War Thunder to anybody because the grind is too painful. The imbalance in vehicles is too painful. And you're fixing the grind. That's amazing. That's a beautiful, 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 beautiful first step. Not only for Silver Lions, but also for RP. I know you said the RP is going to take a little bit longer. That's okay. I don't mind waiting till September because I know it's coming at least. There's hope on the horizon. That's going back to that communication thing that I mentioned earlier. But because I don't want to recommend the game to anybody, it's going to be a lot harder for new people to find the game. and you can advertise and stuff like that on whatever platform you want to, that's cool. But it's really only going to target people who are interested in the stuff already anyways, and you've got the vast majority of us. But there's still more people out there who are willing to play this game and who would want to play this game, I think. They just don't. I know someone who loves playing the game, or who loves the game, but doesn't like playing it, so they uninstalled it because they just couldn't deal with the imbalance anymore. So if you fix the balance, not only do you, in the short term, yes, things are going to take a little bit longer. Queue times might be a little bit longer. There might be less populated matches. I'm willing to put up with that for a little while because in the long term, over the course of time, you're going to bring back old players and bring in new ones who are going to stick around going forward. I mean, I've said a lot of things and I rambled a bit, but I don't have a script or anything. I just kind of wanted to record this video after reading this and kind of guttural reaction here. But if you guys can kind of keep this going forward, this vote button is a massive, shining, beautiful sunrise on the horizon in my mind, because like I said, it shows that you're willing to listen to us. You're willing to start, at least. You've had your strategies in the past, and now you're going to have to kind of reevaluate because those haven't worked. I mean, they've worked a little bit. You've made money. People are still buying the premium vehicles and stuff, but not anymore. I mean, the whole Steam review thing, I feel like I feel like we woke you up. And I'm not going to apologize on behalf of anyone for that because I think it needed to happen. I'm sad that it needed to happen because I think doing that to a company to kind of having to try to force their hand is, I feel like it's heavy-handed, but if heavy-handed was the only thing you were going to listen to, then I don't mind being heavy-handed. And obviously the community doesn't either. So please, don't make us have to be heavy-handed again. And if you can keep up this mindset, I promise you, Gaijin, I promise you that over time, you will be able to earn just as much money as you were earning before, if not more, because there's going to be more people playing the game. People don't want to play a broken game. And you keep saying, oh, well, the community doesn't want blah, 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 blah. Bullcrap. You know what we want because we tell you every single time you put anything to the public. Every video you upload, every post on Twitter, Facebook, to your Gaijin Wiki, all of it, the forums, we're constantly yelling at you what we want, and you're telling us, no, you don't want that. Yeah, we do. Trust us. We play video games all the time. We know what makes a good one. If you continue this trend of listening to us, and even if you want to take every single proposed change that you have, put it in a wall of text like this, and leave it to a vote, then do that. And, you know, you can ignore the community contributor stuff that I mentioned if you want, but I feel like the best course of action for you guys at Gaijin HQ, get in touch with those 10 to 15 major community contributors. And I know Spookston doesn't have a huge amount of people who follow him and stuff, but you need Spookston on that team because Spookston knows what he's talking about more than a lot of other people, I think. Spookston has a very level head. Spookston has a very realistic approach to things. Spookston understands that you need to make money as a company, just like some of us do. I feel like I understand that quite well. But he also understands that, I mean, everything that I just said, really. If you fix the game, then you'll still be able to make money because more people are going to come and play the game. So, regardless of how many followers Spookston has, if you set a threshold, like, you know, you have to have at least 300,000 subscribers on YouTube or 30,000 followers on Twitch or, you know, whatever arbitrary number you want to throw down on the access into the direct contact with the developers of the game program, whatever you decide to call that, if you do it. I really think you should do it, Gaijin, please. I'm begging you. Regardless of what threshold that is, even if Spookston falls below that threshold, he needs to be an exception. And I know I sound like I'm spooked and fanboying right now, but the dude's smart. Okay? He understands how your game needs to work in order for you to be happy and us to be happy. Like, we want both of us to be happy. We don't hate you, Gaijin. Sometimes we may think we hate you because the game frustrates us to no win, but we don't actually hate you. We want you to be happy, so you keep making more War Thunder content, because we love War Thunder. We do. We love it so much. I love it so much. It's so much fun when it works. The problem is it doesn't always work. You make it to where it always works. I can always have fun. I can happily recommend it to whoever, and so can everyone else who plays the game. And then you're happy because you're getting a lot more players in the game on a regular basis, and you're making more money. It's a win-win for everybody. Just listen to us. That's all you have to do. And you've shown me right here that you know how to do that. So keep doing it. That's all I have to say. I know I rambled a lot, so I kind of apologize for that. I get off topic sometimes, especially if I don't have a script to go off of, but just listen to us, Gaijin. Please. All I'm asking you to do is listen to us. Anyways, that's it for this. If you agree with me, leave a like, comment down below. If you have any other suggestions for Gaijin, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment on your little forum vote here. You know, whatever you feel like you've got to do. They've got their official YouTube channel and their official YouTube videos. Leave a comment under one of those. If you like what I'm saying and you want Gaijin to hear this, the best thing you can do, share the video, leave a like, get it boosted and recommended to as many people as possible, because the more people who get to see this video, the more views it winds up getting, the higher probability someone at Gaijin is going to do it. I know it sounds like I'm begging for views. I'm really not. I really genuinely just want someone at Gaijin to see this. If you have a direct contact with someone at Gaijin and this video's only got 30 views, just email it to them. I don't care. Please make it so Gaijin can see this and hear this and know what I'm saying, because I feel like this is the way forward. I'll see you all out on the battlefield. Take care.